Why would a rising global superpower risk conflict for a single piece of land? Why does the idea of reunification hold such powerful meaning in modern China, to the point where it is described not as an option, but as a necessity? To many outside observers, it may seem like a geopolitical dispute, a matter of territory, politics, or strategy. But for China, it is something far deeper. It is history. It is identity. It is unfinished business. And at the center of this issue lies one of the most sensitive and consequential questions in modern geopolitics, the status of Taiwan. But why does reunification matter so much? And why is China willing to pursue it at any cost? To understand that, we must go back not decades, but centuries. For much of its history, China has viewed itself not simply as a nation-state, but as a unified civilization. Under successive dynasties, from the Han to the Qing, the concept of a single, centralized authority ruling over a vast territory became deeply embedded in political culture. Unity was not just a political goal, it was seen as a natural and necessary condition of stability. Periods of fragmentation were often remembered as times of chaos and suffering, while reunification was associated with order, prosperity, and legitimacy. This historical mindset shaped how Chinese leaders and society understood sovereignty. The idea that China should be whole, undivided, and territorially complete became more than policy, it became part of national identity. And when that unity was broken, the impact was not just territorial, it was psychological. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, China experienced a period often referred to as the Century of Humiliation, marked by foreign invasions, unequal treaties, and territorial losses. Following events like the First Opium War, foreign powers forced China to open its ports, cede land, and accept conditions that undermined its sovereignty. Territories such as Hong Kong were taken, while influence from foreign nations spread across the country. These experiences left a lasting imprint on China's national consciousness. The loss of territory was not just a geopolitical setback, it was seen as a national humiliation, a symbol of weakness imposed by external forces. As a result, modern Chinese policy places enormous importance on reversing this legacy. Reunification is not only about the present, it is about correcting the past. At the heart of China's reunification policy lies Taiwan, an island whose political status has remained unresolved since the mid-20th century. After the Chinese Civil War, the defeated nationalist government retreated to Taiwan, while the Communist Party established control over mainland China, forming the People's Republic of China. From that point onward, two separate political systems emerged, each claiming to represent China. For Beijing, Taiwan is not viewed as a separate country, but as a part of China that has yet to be reunified. This position is rooted in both historical claims and political ideology. However, over time, Taiwan has developed its own political identity, governance system, and sense of autonomy, complicating the issue further. What might appear to outsiders as a territorial dispute is, in reality, a deeply layered conflict involving history, identity, and competing visions of sovereignty. For the leadership of China, reunification is closely tied to national identity and political legitimacy. The ruling Chinese Communist Party has long positioned itself as the force responsible for restoring China's strength and unity after a period of weakness and division. Achieving reunification is therefore seen as part of a broader mission, completing the process of national revival. This narrative is reinforced through education, media, and public discourse, where reunification is often presented as both inevitable and essential. In this context, the issue goes beyond foreign policy. It becomes a matter of internal stability and national pride. To abandon reunification would not simply be a political decision. It could be perceived as a failure to fulfill a central promise. Beyond history and identity, Taiwan also holds significant strategic importance. Located along key maritime routes, the island sits at the center of major shipping lanes that connect East Asia to global markets. Control over this region has implications not only for regional security, but also for global trade. Additionally, Taiwan plays a crucial role in the global technology supply chain, particularly in semiconductor production, which is essential for modern electronics. These factors add another layer to the reunification issue. It is not only about sovereignty, it is also about influence, security, and economic power. As global competition intensifies, the importance of this region continues to grow. When Chinese leaders speak about reunification, they often emphasize peaceful means. However, they have also stated that the use of force is not ruled out. This is where the phrase, "at any cost," begins to take on real significance. It reflects a position that reunification is not optional. It is a priority that outweighs other considerations, including potential economic or political risks. At the same time, this stance introduces significant uncertainty. Any escalation in the region could have global consequences, affecting not only China and Taiwan, but also international relations, trade, and security. The situation remains complex and highly sensitive, with multiple factors influencing how it may evolve. China's focus on reunification is not driven by a single factor. It is the result of centuries of history, a deeply rooted belief in unity, the legacy of past humiliation, and the realities of modern geopolitics. For China, reunification represents more than territory. It represents closure, restoration, and the completion of a historical process. But for the world, it represents one of the most critical and complex challenges of our time. Because the question is no longer just whether reunification will happen, but how and at what cost. If reunification is seen as inevitable by one side and unacceptable, then that's going to cause some seriously huge problems for everyone involved, by the other. Then the real question that truly comes to mind is, what happens when history, identity, and power collide?